Hello there, welcome to my YouTube channel and to our Joy in January video series. It's January 26th, and today I wanted to share a little bit about healing resources with you, and one in particular. So I have a few different certifications. I am a certified emotion code, belief code, and body code practitioner. So those are three separate certifications that I got. But I also did something called Intuition Accelerator by Ali Duzette. And today I am going to share Ali Duzette with you because honestly, that is where I've done most of my healing work, is through this healing resource. And she has a YouTube channel, so you can look that up. But I wanted to show you her website. And you know, it's kind of interesting. Most people don't get online and promote other people, where if you're in a business, like the one of the names of the game is self-promotion. And I've never been super comfortable with self-promotion. I am working on it because I do believe that what I have to offer is valuable and I want people to heal. But I want people to heal so much. I want them to have all the resources that are available to them, and I would encourage you to do some research and find the resources that are available to you in your area. There might be Reiki masters in your area, there might be intuitive healing people, or energy healers in your area, there might be foot zoners in your area, there might be other practitioners in the alternative medicine realm who can help you along your healing journey. And so I would encourage you to do some research there. But the cool thing about Ali Duzette is she has done a ton of courses. I'm going to show you in a minute her website and how to kind of navigate it. But I kind of have adopted her format in creating these online video sessions. And the intention of these video sessions is to help as many people as possible. And they are very effective, and I just love them and can't say enough good about them. And it's interesting because a lot of Ali Duzette sessions, or most of them, there's like a space at the end where you can leave a testimonial. But at the end of a session, I'm like ready to move on with something else. And so I'm like, great session, thanks, bye. Like I don't do really good lengthy testimonials. And so I think I'm going to do a few testimonials in this video too. So, I'm going to show you, let me share my screen with you and kind of show you how to navigate her website. So it is aliduzetteclasses.com, and this is my actual, I'm logged in, this is my actual account. I love this website format. It's called Member Vault, and you get points. And the cool thing about points is when you get so many points, it like will unlock another session for you, and that's free, which is super cool and awesome. And another thing I love about this format, I might switch over to this format someday, but I haven't yet. So, is that you can, let me find something I have not. So, what I've just scrolled through, all of that are the courses that I have in my, that I've purchased, and a lot of them I've completed. But this available products here, those are the things that I have not completed yet. And so I just wanted to show you something so cool with these sessions and this website format, is that the owner of the website can put things up by donation, which means you can choose your price point when you purchase a class. And she does have a lot of classes that are as low as $5, and some are way more expensive. Sometimes some of them, the lower price point is higher than $75. But I will say that Ali Duzette is a very gifted healer, and it is 100% worth it. And she could be charging a lot more for her sessions. So if you do this, I decide to do this, you kind of would create an account up here. This is where the account information is. I think if I log out, there would be, a sign up or create an account, something over here. But I'm already logged in, and so this is my account info up here. And then I just kind of want to show you scroll through a little bit. I think this is up here because it's new. I'm not sure because they're mostly in alphabetical order. But I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the sessions that have really, really, really helped me. And you can see some of these I've completed and some of them I have not. And so I wanted to talk specifically about, I don't know, we'll see which one pops out to me. They've all been great. Oh, I just had, when I saw the hand fascia session, I was like, I know which one I need to talk about. This brain fascia session. This session was so beneficial for me. And the thing that's interesting about this session, this is, I think, her only one that I've done that isn't even a video. It's just written out and you just read what's written there. But oh my heck, I can feel my brain starting to tingle just thinking about this session. My brain loved this session and I had some big shifts. I think I did this session about 10 times. So these sessions aren't designed to like heal you immediately. Like there's nothing that can do that. There's no miracle cure. But what these do, they just kind of work on your energy. And if the session doesn't go through all the way the first time, you just do it again. That's how my sessions are too. That's kind of how this session format works. And I did this so many times because it felt so good. And I haven't done it in a long time. That was probably my brain asking for it. Again, that little tingle so that I felt in my head. Okay. The other one I wanted to talk about, give a little testimonial on was I'm actually going to, why is that not working? Okay, I'm going to bring it up. Oh, okay, manifest your dream home. So I did this session last year. And it was kind of funny. I purchased it, or maybe it was one of the ones I got for free. I can't remember because it wasn't really on my radar, and I knew we weren't really going to move. We had a daughter who was going to be a senior, and like, why would we move at that point in time? But it was weird. I began the session, and I think I did the first part, and like after I did that, the first miracle happened and my daughter came to me and she was like, I think it'd be okay if we moved. I don't know where that came from, but I was just like, that is crazy. Like literally, I just started the session and now my daughter's like, I'd be okay to move. And so I talked to my husband and we just kind of started thinking about it and I kept working through this session. I'll show you. Oh, I know what it was. Okay, I used to have one of her memberships. She doesn't do memberships anymore, so I don't actually own this session. So, but it has multiple parts, and I went on to the second part, and I just kept working through it. My husband and I kind of started looking at houses online. We actually went in person and viewed a couple of houses, and at one of them, we just found this amazing real estate agent, and we looked at 2 more houses, and we made an offer, and we moved in like 2 weeks. It was nuts. So I was like, this is crazy. So, and that is why I did it, is because I had her very fancy membership and it was part of that. And I just did it it was available to me. And so I did it. And I like moving, guys. It's kind of a thing. So, and it was really interesting to manifest our dream house. So one of the things that we did in that video was kind of get clarity about what we wanted. And my husband and I sat down and wrote down like exactly what we wanted, and we were like, we wouldn't even consider moving unless the house had all these things. And that 4th house that we looked at literally had all of those things, and some of them were super quirky. And so it was just kind of like amazing. And this house had been on the market for almost a year, and it was just insane. So not insane, because I do believe there's so much power in these sessions, but these 2, the resetting your polarity and the grounding session, like highly recommend to anybody, anytime, especially if you're new to energy work, because most of us, our polarity is off, especially if we suffer from depression. And I personally am someone who struggles to stay grounded. I'm actually going to talk about that in my video tomorrow, but highly recommend these 2 sessions, her free offerings. So when you open an account, at the top under available products, there will only be, like the foundational sessions or the free sessions. I'm not sure because I have all these sessions, and then if you decide that you want any other ones, you can do those. So, okay, I'm going to do one more testimonial because I just saw this here, the bitterness session. So When that first came out, I saw that Ali Duzette was going to do that session, and I was like, okay, yeah, I know I need to do that one, and so I actually just paid for it right away. And I was with her live when she was doing the session, but I had something that day, and I was only there for about an hour, and then I left. And I'm going to actually just come back to the camera and say hello again. So okay, so I I did like the first hour of her bitterness session. It's about 2 hours long, and I don't even know. I had something that day. I left. I know I was like actively participating in the session. Like I made comments and everything. And then, so that was months ago. So I did 1 hour of it like months ago. So this last Sunday, just a few days ago, I woke up in the morning and I was like, I feel like I really need to go finish that bitterness session today. And so, or do the bitterness session. I think I'd kind of forgotten that I had done it. So I opened it up and I started it. I saw that I hadn't finished it and I started it, and I was kind of thinking that I hadn't ever done it before. And as I was listening to it, I was like, oh, that sounds familiar. A couple things sounded familiar. And I was like, I'm pretty sure one of those comments is mine. But it's like my subconscious mind had completely forgotten about this session. And after doing it, I kind of pondered it. I realized that my subconscious knew it was going to be so big for me that it was really, it was too much for me to take on at the time when I originally started it. And that's kind of how it works. Your subconscious will do funny things. And I literally had forgotten most of the session, and it was just one or two things that I was like, that sounds familiar. I think I've been here before. It was this weird thing. And I think I made that comment. It was just crazy. And then I did it for those 2 hours, and then man, I processed it for like 3 days. I'm probably still processing it a little bit, but it was a big, big, big session for me, which means all that means is I had a ton of bitterness inside me, and I did this session, and it allowed me to bring up all that bitterness, to feel it, to work through it, and to then allow my body to process it out of me so that I am not walking around in this cloud of bitterness. And I had two dreams. So dreaming is one of the ways that I process things too. I had two dreams that I know are related to the bitterness session, and it's just my brain and my body physically processing all of that bitterness out of me, and it has been amazing. And so that's the most recent one, and the manifesting your dream home is kind of the most been the most profound one in my life. Or maybe not profound is the right word, maybe just miraculous. And so we literally moved in like a couple weeks after we made an offer. And so it's just amazing. This work is amazing, and it's real. And a lot of people struggle to accept this work or to believe in it, and a lot of people think it's kooky, and I think that's so interesting. I'm Christian, and I am surrounded by Christians. Most of the people that I know in my life are Christians, and sometimes Christians have a really hard time accepting this. And I just need to talk about that for a second, and maybe challenge that a little bit. So I was seeing a client one time, and this client was struggling to believe in this work. And this client actually only ever had one session, and he was struggling to believe in it. And I was like, look, like, how do you think Christ healed people? Like, how do you think he put his hands on somebody and they were healed? Or how do you think he, said some words and they were healed? Or how do you think someone healed because they touched his garment? Like, it's the energy. It's the energy, and it's the belief. And it's actually a fact. If you do not believe in this work, it will not work for you, because your conscious mind is overriding everything else. Your conscious mind is the boss of you. And so if you are telling your subconscious mind and your energy field and everybody else, like, this isn't going to work, it's not going to work. It's like you are denying permission for yourself to heal. And so belief is a big, huge part of that. A lot of people also are weird about healing other people, especially in my church. There's some weird things about healing. And in my culture, other people don't call it weird. It's kind of just the way it is. But now I see it as weird because people don't know the history of the healing throughout the church, first of all. And so they kind of just go with what the norm is now and what it's been for a few decades, but they don't understand the history of how things have changed. And this is, there's this people have a big beef about people making money for healing work. And I just like, what? So And the reason that doesn't make sense to me is because when I think about Jesus Christ, like people say, like he's the healer. I don't get it. Like I'm like it's a skill like anything else. Like it's like learning a language, or it's a skill that you can learn and develop and become good at, just like anything else in the universe. And so I think there's this thing. There's like this block or this like box that people put healing in my culture. And it's so sad because we're missing out on so many good things. But people have this idea like people who do healing work can't get paid. I'm like, sorry about my face, and I'm being really like honest, which is great, but I'm not going to apologize for that. Um, this is the way that I see it. Jesus Christ is the greatest healer of all time, right? I have no problem. Like some people would argue with that, but that's what I believe. Jesus Christ is also the greatest teacher of all time. That's my belief. And I think it's interesting that people don't have any issues with people getting paid to teach when they have issues with people getting paid to heal, because it's the same thing. It's a skill that we can learn to do, that we can become a master at. And yes, Jesus Christ is the best at both of those. But that is how I see it. It's a skill. And why would we deny healers, payment for their skill? We don't deny anybody else payment for their skill. It doesn't make any sense. And so, and a lot of people really struggle to pay for healing work. And sometimes maybe we really don't have enough money. And I would encourage you to maybe examine your beliefs about money. If this is something, like if healing work is something that you have a hard time paying for, that's something to heal from. So I will tell you, I spent a lot of money on therapy over the years, and then I did that EMDR. I've talked about this in a few videos, where I drove to Boise, Idaho for a guy that I really wanted to see, because I just did my research and I was like, no, that's who I need to go to. And it was a 4-hour drive each way for me to go to therapy. And that was not cheap. And sometimes I would just like find an Airbnb and spend the night and do 2 sessions in a row. So, to save myself the drive or whatever. And then I've also done neurofeedback. I did 15 sessions of neurofeedback. That was not cheap. And you've seen all the Ali Duzette courses that I've paid for. And let me tell you why I am willing to spend money on healers, on healing. It is because I'm worth it. And so are you. Like, we are worth the price that it pays to heal. And if we've had a life that's been kind of rough, and we haven't done healing work until we get to be an adult or something, there might be a kind of a big price tag attached to that. And that's okay, because we're worth it. And it is worth it. And you will, like, investing in yourself is the best investment that you can make. Investing in other people is the best investment that we can make. Like these videos that I'm making, they're not getting a ton of views this first time around, this first January around, but I hope someday they get way more views. I hope they're here for another decade or 2 decades, that people come back and go through these videos in January and they can receive healing work. And that is worth my time. Making these videos is worth my time, because it's going to bless lives. And that's what it's all about. And you are worth it. You are worth every penny. You are worth every minute that you spend on your own healing. You are worth it. And so that's just kind of what I wanted to talk about today, is healing resources. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about neurofeedback, because of all the healing work I've done, neurofeedback is the most... I'm going to say controversial in my mind. It's not controversial in the world. It's actually, considered a pretty cool thing and effective thing. And this is my experience with neurofeedback. I did neurofeedback, and I can definitely see the benefits. I still see the benefits. That's what I love about neurofeedback. It's like lasting benefits. But it also has some interesting side effects. And I would say, I don't know that it was necessarily worth the side effects. Maybe. So, because I have I have PTSD, and so I don't know, you want to call that brain on fire, and it just has really calmed my brain down. So much so that like people can be running around like, they could be burning, and I'd just be like, Not like I would, I mean, I would help, but it's just like my brain, like, just doesn't go into that freak out mode anymore, which is amazing and awesome. And that is really good. The side effect that I don't love is that I feel a little more detached from my emotions. Like, even though I do still experience emotions, but I feel like I don't know, it's just interesting. It just there has been a little bit of a side effect. And so, one of the things I love about energy healing is I feel like there are no side effects. So I haven't ever experienced any side effects from energy healing. And you know, I showed you how many classes I've done, a lot. So, but the neurofeedback, I definitely have a couple of side effects from that. And so I don't know why, I just felt like I needed to mention that. But that's it for today. Just thank you so much for being here. And we're almost through the month. Keep going. You can do this. It's going to be great. And, or if nothing else, we'll get through it. Thanks so much. Bye.